Trinidad and Tobago, an island paradise known for its vibrant culture, steel pan carnival, and pristine beaches. But even paradise has its shadows. Today on Calypso to Zest, we delve into the chilling tale of one of the Caribbean's most infamous figures, Dole Chadee. Who was he? How did he rise to power? And what led to his ultimate downfall? Dole Chadee, born Nankisoon Budram, grew up in the quiet village of Piparo, Trinidad. Details about his early life remain murky, but it's said that Piparo's lush countryside and isolation made it an ideal spot for illicit activities. By the 1980s, Chadee was no longer just another villager. He was rising to infamy as one of the most prominent drug lords in the Caribbean. Chadee's empire extended far beyond Trinidad's shores. He was reputed to be a top player in the narcotics trade, though authorities struggled to pin drug charges on him. But what they couldn't get him for in the drug world, they would later pursue him for in blood. In January 1994, Piparo became the epicenter of one of Trinidad's most horrifying crimes. Four members of the Baboolal family, Deo, Rukmin, Hamilton, and Monica, were brutally murdered in their home. But amidst this carnage, two siblings, Osmond and Hemati Baboolal, survived the attack. During the tragic events of January 10, 1994, at the Baboolal family home in Williamsville, Levy Morris, one of the assailants, played a crucial role in sparing the lives of 13-year-old Osman and 7-year-old Hemati. According to reports, Morris discovered the children hiding and chose to protect them by pushing them under a bed, instructing them to remain silent. This act of compassion ensured their survival during the massacre. However, the trauma they endured was unimaginable. Osman, who witnessed the horror unfold, would carry the weight of that night for the rest of his life. He struggled deeply. The psychological scars of witnessing the murders of his family led to a life marked by challenges, including run-ins with the law. Hemati was taken in by an uncle, where she found some stability and grew up to lead a relatively peaceful life. Their survival is a testament to resilience, but their lives were forever altered by that tragic night. Levi Morris chose to turn state witness after being initially charged. His cooperation came at a significant cost, as he confessed to his role in the murders and pleaded guilty. His testimony was instrumental in the prosecution of Dole Chadee and his associates. In exchange for his cooperation, Morris's death sentence was commuted to life imprisonment, and he was later relocated abroad under a new identity. The state's case against Dole Chadee also hinged on another critical witness, Clint Huggins, but his path to justice was fraught with peril. Clint Huggins was a former gang member who had risen to become a special reserve policeman. His insider knowledge of Chadee's operations made him a valuable asset to the prosecution. Despite the dangers, Huggins provided detailed testimony during the preliminary inquiry, shedding light on Chadee's involvement in the murders. But speaking out came at a cost. While under protective custody at Teteran Barracks, Huggins left his safe house on February 18, 1996, to visit family during the carnival celebrations. During this visit, a plot orchestrated by Chadee's associate, Joey Ramaya, unfolded. Ramaya had offered $3 million to Huggins' cousins, Leslie and Arnold Huggins, to eliminate Clint and prevent his testimony. On February 20, 1996, Clint was abducted by Leslie, Arnold, and their accomplice Junior Phillip. They took him to the Uriah Butler Highway, where he was brutally murdered, shot, stabbed, and partially burned. Despite his death, Huggins' prior testimony was admitted in court, leading to the conviction and eventual execution of Dole Chadee and his associates. The individuals involved in the abduction and murder of Clint Huggins were convicted for their crimes. Arnold Huggins, Leslie Huggins, and Junior Phillip were arrested and charged with the murder of Clint Huggins. In May 2003, after a trial in the High Court at the Port of Spain Assizes, they were found guilty and sentenced to death. Their convictions were subsequently appealed, but the Court of Appeal dismissed these appeals. The case was further taken to the Privy Council, which reviewed the proceedings. While the Privy Council identified certain irregularities in the trial process, it ultimately upheld the convictions. However, in line with evolving legal standards and the precedent set in Matthew v. State of Trinidad and Tobago, the Privy Council commuted their death sentences to life imprisonment, underscoring the complexities involved in the legal proceedings of such high-profile cases, and highlights the challenges faced in ensuring fair trials while delivering justice. The murder of Clint Huggins also underscored the perils faced by state witnesses and highlighted the lengths to which criminal organizations would go to silence them. In 1996, Chadee and 8 of his associates were convicted of the Baboolal murders. The trial captivated the nation, and the sentences were clear: death by hanging. Appeals were made, even reaching the Privy Council in London, but justice prevailed. In June 1999, over 4 days, Trinidad and Tobago carried out the executions. Dole Chadee and his gang met their end at the Port of Spain prison. On June 4th, Dole Chadee, Joey Ramya, and Ramkalawan Singh were hanged. Russell Sankarali, Clive Thomas, and Robin Gopal were executed the following day, on June 5th. Then on June 7th, Joel Ramsingh, Bhagwandeen Singh, and Stephen Eversley were hanged. These executions were significant, as they were the first to be carried out in Trinidad and Tobago since 1994. Despite appeals and petitions from international human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, the executions proceeded as scheduled. The government's decision underscored its stance on capital punishment during that period. Following their executions, Dole Chadee and his associates were buried in unmarked graves in the Golden Grove Prison Cemetery in Arouca. These events marked a pivotal moment in Trinidad and Tobago's criminal justice history, reflecting the nation's approach to addressing serious crimes at the time. The executions marked a turning point, sending a message to criminals across the Caribbean. But the legacy of Dole Chadee wasn't just about crime. It was about the lives he destroyed, and the community forever scared by his actions. Today, Piparo bears reminders of Chadee's reign. His sprawling estate was reclaimed by the state and converted into a drug rehabilitation center, a poetic end to a dark chapter. The story of Dole Chadee is one of power, fear, and justice. It reminds us of the importance of accountability and the resilience of communities in the face of tragedy. What do you think of his story? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching Calypso to Zest. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories that shape our history and culture. Until next time, keep zessing.